forgive yourself. Choose to forgive yourself. You won't always get it right. You won't always do the right thing. You won't always say the right thing. You won't always show up in the right way. You will disappoint people. You will even disappoint yourself. But you must be willing to also show yourself. The way you forgive a friend, the way you forgive your brother, your sister, your spouse, your children, you should also be willing to extend that forgiveness to yourself. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Life Lessons with Law. My name is Loretta Gerard, and on this space we like to have honest, open, authentic, heart-to-heart conversations on everything pertaining to love, life, faith, and womanhood. If this is your first time of watching the channel or listening to the podcast, you are most welcome. And if you are a returning listener or subscriber, thank you. Anyway guys, so today I just thought to come here to share about something that I think is quite important, and I know that I always say that about all the episodes but I was just thinking about something that happened to me a few years ago. So I was just thinking back to when I had this really messy breakup a few years ago. And in one of the email exchanges between me and my ex, he wrote something. Of course, he said a lot of unprintable things in that email, which I can't share here. But he said two words that struck me and that I will never forget. He said, "Love yourself. Love yourself." And to be honest, I can't even remember most of the things that he said in that email, but those two words struck me. Love yourself. And I was thinking about it a few days ago, how a lot of times we say love yourself, you need to love yourself, you need to show yourself love. But what does it actually mean to love yourself? What does it mean to love yourself, and how do you actually love yourself? So I thought that I'll come in here and share that today, how to love yourself, because for me it's been a journey. And if I'm being honest, I haven't always loved myself. I haven't always seen myself as someone worth loving by another person. How much more you turning that mirror to myself and actually learning to love myself. So it's been a journey for me, and I have learned a lot of things along the way ever since I received that message from that ex. So how do you love yourself? What does it mean to love yourself? And I'll start by saying this. One, it is a journey. It is a journey, especially when you probably experience things in your life that made you question your sense of self-worth. For me, it was being sexually abused at a very tender age, and growing up with a lot of dysfunction. So that kind of chipped away at my sense of self-worth, and it kind of made me loathe myself, because I didn't really, especially with the sexual abuse, I didn't really have anyone to help me see and help me understand what had happened to me. And I didn't have anyone help me go through that process of helping me understand that it wasn't my fault. So for a lot of years, all through my childhood and even for the most part of my adulthood, I kind of carry that burden of thinking that it was all myself or all my fault. So being on this journey of learning to love myself, I have and I'm still learning a lot of things on the way. So that's why I said the first thing is that it's a journey. You are growing, you are evolving. So I need you to understand that it's gonna take you some time, especially when it took you a long time to get to this point of not really liking yourself or not really liking certain things about yourself. It's gonna take some time to break down those belief systems, to break down those mental models that you have created in your mind. It took you a while to build them. So understand that it will take some time to break them down. That's the first thing I want you to understand. The second thing that I would say, which I think is the most important thing, is that it begins with God. Now, if you listen to a lot of self-help, which I do, a lot of self-help, and if you read a lot of self-help material, one of the first things that that would jump at you when it comes to learning how to love yourself is, practicing self-compassion, practicing self-care, and those things are important, and I'll come to that in a few minutes. But it begins with God. Look, you can't really understand your value until you understand how God sees you. So in understanding and seeing yourself the way God sees you, you learn your worth, right? So it all begins with God. It all begins with you understanding that you were loved so much that God decided that you were worth dying for. And I heard someone say this. Someone said that even if you were the only person in the whole wide world, even if you are the only person existing in the whole wide world, Jesus would have still died for you, because your soul has that much worth. That is how much you are valued by God. The Bible says that the hairs on our very head are numbered. So for every time you comb your hair and hair falls to the ground, God knows how much hair has fallen to the ground. I want you to sit and just ruminate on that. Just think on that for a second. It's mind-blowing that for every single strand of hair on your head, God knows how many falls off in a day. That is how important you are to God. That is how much value you hold to the person who created the entire universe. It's powerful. It's so powerful. And it's a journey to grasp this. Don't get me wrong. It's not, for me, it's something that I'm still learning every single day. Praying to God that He helps me see just how much He loves me. That light is shone in my heart in those dark places where I feel as though, those places in my heart where I feel like I'm not good enough, like I'm not worthy enough. I always ask God for His light to shine in those places. And I'm praying the same thing too for you, that God's light shines in those places where you feel as though you're not good enough, as though you're not worthy enough, because you are. You really are. So yeah, an understanding of your sense of self, of your worth, begins with God. Seeing how much God values and cherishes you, how much He loves you. He loved you enough that He thought you were worth dying for, and He died. And how much He's so faithful to you, so committed to having a loving relationship with you, that He's always there. The Bible says that He's not going to leave us, neither will He forsake us. The Bible also says that God is going to carry us until the hair on our heads turn gray. That's how faithful He is until the end of time. Nothing can separate us from the love of God, the Bible says. Nothing in this world can separate us from the love of God. Nothing in this world can make God stop loving you. It's a hard thing to grasp. It's a hard concept to grasp. But when you understand it, when you begin to see yourself from this point, everything else that I'm going to say kind of fits in, but this is the very foundation of it. The next thing that I would say in learning how to love yourself is to understand that love is a decision. It's not a feeling. Just like every other type of love, the love that you show to your friends or your family or your partner, your spouse or your children, it's not a feeling. It's a decision. So even with yourself, even with learning to love yourself, again, as I said, this is a process. It's not just something that will fall on you. It's something that you would have to intentionally and consciously build over time. So even in learning to love yourself, you must understand that it is a decision. And it's a decision that you have to make every single day. So every time you wake up, you have to renew that commitment to loving yourself. And to love yourself means to accept who you are, to see yourself as the special person that you are. There is nobody like you in this world, and nobody like you is ever going to exist. There's only one you, only one of your kind. It's amazing, mind-blowing how God has designed us and how God has designed the world, such that you are so unique and so distinct. There is never going to be anybody like you. Never, ever. Nobody's gonna smile the way that you do. Nobody is gonna have it's so unique. You are so unique. So understanding this, and then making that commitment that every single day that you wake up, you're going to affirm your uniqueness. You're going to acknowledge that you are the only one of your kind in this world, and you are here because you deserve to be here. You are here because God decided that you are worth having here, regardless of what anybody has said, regardless of your upbringing, regardless of the situations in life that you've had to face. You have a right to be here. And that is why you are here. So understanding that and making that commitment every single day, that I'm going to love myself today. I'm going to accept myself today. I'm going to forgive myself today. I'm going to acknowledge my uniqueness today. I'm going to affirm my worth today. Love is a decision. To love yourself is to know yourself. To love yourself is to know yourself. A wise man once said, "To thine own self be true. Know thyself. Know yourself." This is a concept called knowing yourself is a concept called self-awareness. Knowing who you are, knowing I heard someone call it your operating system. Knowing how you move in the world. Knowing the stuff that you are made of, knowing how you operate, knowing how you think, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses. That is one of the ways that you learn to love yourself. Because in assessing that, in learning that, you know and understand how you work. And it's quite distinct from how other people operate. Because again, you're a unique human being. A few years ago, when I started this journey of learning to love myself, learning to accept myself, I did something called a personal SWOT analysis. So a SWOT analysis is simply, and I took that from the corporate business context, it's your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I put together a small journal, a self-awareness journal, and I'm going to put the link in the description. Once it's up on Amazon, I'm going to put the link. It's going to be on Amazon in a few days, so I'll put the link in the description of this video so you can get it and you can use it. It's a journal, but I also just put in something like a prompt to help you do your personal SWOT analysis. So I put that together based on the things that I learned while doing my own personal SWOT analysis. So I thought that yes, this might be useful to somebody out there. So yeah, I'll put that link in the description once it's up on Amazon so you can get it and do yours. Okay, so basically a personal SWOT analysis is just, again, assessing your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And your strengths are just basically, what are the things that you're good at? What are the things that what are your capabilities, right? For me, one of my key strengths is that I am a good communicator. So I am able to communicate my thoughts. I'm able to communicate my ideas. And also the fact that I'm also very detailed, quite detailed. So I'm in the detail of things. I think about the steps, right? As much as I'm also a big picture thinker, I'm also able to determine the steps, the detail of things. That's one of my strengths. Another strength that I have is that I I genuinely love people. I genuinely care about the people that I care about. And because I don't like to lie to myself. So if I don't like to feel bitterness towards people that and then claim to care about them. I like to be true to myself. So I genuinely love the people that I love. I genuinely care about the people that I care about, and I genuinely want the best for them. So you think about it, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the things that you're good at? Are you a good cook? Are you good with art? Are you good with people? Are you good at speaking? Are you good at writing? Are you good at drawing? Are you good? What are the things that you're good at? And then you have a look at your weaknesses. What are the things that you are not good at? Because trust me, everybody cannot be good at everything. Only God is perfect at everything. What are your weaknesses? What are the things that you think you can improve on? What are those things that you just can't do? You just can't do them. For me, as much as I love to cook, I'm also not very good with my hands. So that means things like bead making, making hair, even baking. I'm not good at those things. Right? I'm also not good with numbers. I love pictures. I love colors. I love the creative. I love things that have to do with words. But with numbers, it will take me more time. It will take me more time to deal with numbers. But some people are better at numbers. Some people are very good at numbers. So know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and also what are the opportunities, what are the areas that you can tap into your strengths. How can you leverage on those strengths? And also, what are the threats? What are the things that could cripple you? Are there belief systems or friendships or mental models that have been formed in your mind that could cripple you, that could cripple your growth, that could be an impediment to where you want to get to? Highlight all these things. And what that does is, when you think through these things, you then see that, okay, these are the things that I'm good at. These are the things that I'm not good at. These are the ways that I can improve, the areas of improvement. These are the ways that I can get better at some of my strengths, or even some of my weaknesses that are really essential, right? And it helps you understand yourself on a very basic level. And you can then begin to build on that. Decide to be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. And again, this would, once you have an understanding of your strengths and your weaknesses, then you can now begin to learn to live from the inside out. Because you know who you are. You know how you operate in the world. Be true to yourself. Be who you are, and show up in the world as your authentic self. This is who I am. And as much as I'm not a loud person, and you can see that from my personality. Even from watching this video, you can tell that I'm not a loud, boisterous, gregarious kind of person. I don't have that kind of character. Sometimes I wish I did, but it's not who I am. I've never been that way, right? So I'm true to myself, and I show up as this person. Most of the time I show up as this person, right? And I'm not, again, as I said, I'm not a talkative. I'm not a talkative person. I'm not the kind of person that shows up in a place and then begins to talk to everyone. Sometimes I wish I was that amiable. I'm not a life of a party kind of a person. I'm just quiet, reserved, introverted, right? So this is who I am, and I show up in the world as that person. To show up as your authentic self, you don't have to be someone that you're not, because believe me, when you show up as someone that you're not, it shows. It shows. People can tell. People can tell that you're just pretending, or that you're not being yourself, right? So yeah, be true to yourself. Show up as you are. Show up as your most authentic self. But again, I just want to balance this, because there's also a side of when people are like, I'm just being authentic, but by being authentic, they are just being rude. They are being inconsiderate, they're being selfish, and they're acting so immaturely and so improperly. So you also have to learn to balance that. You can be your authentic self, but being your authentic self also has a contextual side to it. So depending on the space and the context that you're in, you can be authentic within that context, right? And just show respect to the people that you have around you. Okay, I'll also say that in learning to love yourself, you must also be willing to forgive yourself, because you're going to make mistakes. And I also think that the reason why a lot of people find it hard to love themselves is because they've probably done things maybe in the past that they are not proud of. And whenever they think of that thing, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you could do such a thing. And I understand that 100%. We've all done things in that we're probably not proud of. Nobody's perfect. But I need you to understand that you have no choice but to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself. And if you have asked the Lord for forgiveness, if God has forgiven you, then you are forgiven. So you must also extend that grace to yourself. Show yourself grace, because you're not perfect and you will never be perfect. You will never be perfect. Like, have you ever done something and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh my God, how could I have been so, oh my God, how could I have done that? How could I have said that? I know that many times I have done things and then look back and I'm like, oh my God. And I feel so much shame when I think about it. But then I just have to remind myself that, look, yeah, I'm human. We make mistakes. We won't always be perfect. And then I learned my lesson, right? And I choose to move on from it. So forgive yourself. Choose to forgive yourself. You won't always get it right. You won't always do the right thing. You won't always say the right thing. You won't always show up in the right way. You will disappoint people. You will even disappoint yourself. But you must be willing to also show yourself. The way you forgive a friend, the way you forgive your brother, your sister, your spouse, your children, you should also be willing to extend that forgiveness to yourself. To love yourself is to commit to knowledge and growth. And the more you grow, the more your self-confidence also grows. So the more you invest in yourself, the more you invest in knowledge, the more you invest in becoming a better version of yourself, the more you invest in strengthening and building your mindset, the more your self-love grows, the more your self-confidence grows. Because with knowledge comes power. With knowledge comes with knowledge comes value. And when you have something of value, you can exchange it for money. And when you have money, you feel good. So loving yourself is a commitment to knowledge, is a commitment to growth. To love yourself, you also have to accept the things that you can't change and change the things that you can. So there are certain things that you can't change. For example, if you don't like your height, you can't change your height. You can't change your height. I'm sorry, but there's nothing you can do about it. But if you're not happy with your weight, that's definitely something you can change. You can decide to eat better. You can decide to sleep better. You can decide to exercise more, right? So you can do something about that. So you can decide to change things that you can change. But for the things that you can't change the shape of your head. You can't change the shape of your head. So you might as well just accept it and rock it. I remember when I was growing up, one of the things that I really did not like about myself was my feet. Because, look, I'm a tall girl, right? So because of my height, I have like really long feet that I got from my mom and my dad. And I used to always complain. In fact, when I was in secondary school, some of my classmates then, they had a nickname for me because I always wore big shoes. And my parents were not even, like, now that I think about it, my parents did me dirty with the kind of shoes that they always got me, because why? They always got me like really weird shoes that made it obvious that it was hard to find my size. Oh my God. Yeah, that's hilarious. But I honestly didn't like my feet. And I told myself at some point when I was younger that I was going to get surgery to change the size of my feet to something more feminine. But now I've come to accept that it's my feet. God gave me these feet, so I'll just have to make do with what God has given me. And I'm so thankful to God now. At least I have feet. I'm thankful to God and thankful to the people that were kind enough, those entrepreneurs and business people that were kind enough to begin to make shoes for people like me. Of course, again, it's still not easy to find shoes, nice shoes my size, really cute shoes my size. But yeah, I thank God. So my point is, just accept the things that you can't change. Love it. Now I get my nails done. I paint my nails. They're not painted now, but I take care of it. I pamper my feet. I love my feet. I love my feet. So yeah, everybody can say what they want, but it took me a while to get here, and I'm grateful that I'm here. But yeah, you just have to accept the things that you can't change. So if you can't change the shape of your head, so just wear nice hairstyles that kind of make it look better. Just to love on it, pamper it. It's your head. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, right? To love yourself is to show up for yourself. Keep your promises to yourself. And what this looks like for me now is doing this, showing up and making these videos, making these episodes, trying to make sure that I have at least 2 episodes every month. It is hard because, get this, I have a home, I'm a wife, I have a job, I also have home commitments. I'm doing my master's degree, so it's a lot. It is hard. And sometimes I'd rather just want to just lay down and just relax with a good book while sipping a glass of wine on a weekend. But I have to do this. I have to show up for myself. I have to keep my promise to myself. So if I say that I need to have at least 2 videos up every single month, then I have to make that happen. And the more I make that happen, the more my confidence in myself grows, because it helps my mind that I'm someone that can be trusted, and that way my mental capacity, my mental energy is strengthened to continue to do more. Okay, so show up for yourself, be disciplined, keep your promises to yourself, stay consistent. It is hard, it is tough, I know, trust me, I know this, I understand it 100%. But I also I'm learning that the more you show up for yourself, the more your self-confidence grows, the more you see yourself as someone who can be trusted. To love yourself means to show your body love. So eat well, exercise, eat a balanced diet, sleep well, pamper yourself, commit to self-care, go for a massage, do a body scrub if you can, take care of your hair, take care of your nails, just spend money on yourself. Please spend money on yourself. Buy the things that you like, buy yourself nice things. I just started learning this because it took me a while to learn this, but yeah, if you make the money, spend the money on yourself. Of course, I'll always say there's a balance to this, so that you don't go and spend all the money that you should be saving and investing. You don't go and spend it on yourself, buying yourself nice things, and you don't have any savings, you don't have any investments. No, but yeah, just commit to, even if it's a certain percentage of your salary every month, just commit to spending something on yourself. Do the things that you love. Do some self-care. Pamper yourself, baby. Okay, you only have this one life, so enjoy it. Do the things that you love. If it's painting, if it's dancing, just do those things. It helps you because it releases those feel-good hormones that your body needs, and it just helps. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel so good when you do those things. For me, I like cooking most of the time. I like cooking, so when I cook, I feel good. I also enjoy this recording these episodes. So when I do them, even though it can be stressful, I still enjoy it. I enjoy taking a walk with my coffee, That is good. Makes me feel good. I like it. So yeah, just do the things that you love. Yeah, do the things that bring you joy. Do the things that you've always wanted to do. If it's relaxing with a nice book, I like to do that too. Do it. So yeah, do the things that you love. Stay connected to your spirit, because when you stay connected to your spirit, you let God pour into you. You give God the opportunity to continue to pour his love into you. You begin to learn more about the love of God. It helps you, because God then begins to reveal certain things even about yourself to you. It begins to prune certain things that are not like him out of you. So stay connected to God. Stay connected to you, just cultivating and nurturing that relationship with God. Also, go to therapy if you can. Dig deep, understand get to the root of that self-hate. Try to understand what happened to me that maybe, because because when you were born, you were not born with not liking yourself. No baby is born and the baby suddenly doesn't like herself or himself, right? That thing, it's a conditioning that happens as a child grows. So something must have prompted it. Something must have triggered those feelings that are kind of built up over time. So get to the root of it. When you get to the root of it, then you can now begin to undo those effects with time. So yeah, dig deep, go to therapy, and just heal. Choose progress over perfection. Understand that this is a lifelong journey. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. So, and you won't be perfect. You make mistakes along the way. So I need you to forgive yourself in advance. Forgive yourself in advance. Just tell yourself that, look, I know that I'm going to mess up. So I'm forgiving myself in advance because you will mess up, because you won't always do the right thing, right? So yeah, choose progress over perfection. When you fall, don't stay down. Pick yourself up. Keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Every single day is an opportunity to do better. Every single day is an opportunity to get better. So pick yourself up and keep moving. Another way that you can learn to love yourself is by learning to love others. I know it sounds weird, but it's the truth. The more you pour into the lives of other people, the more you feel good about yourself. There is just something about loving people. There's just something about genuinely caring for other people that fills up your cup as well. Like when you're there for someone, when you show up for the people that you love, when you show up for the people in your life, when you show up for your family, when you show up for your friends and you're there for them, it makes you feel good about yourself. It just strengthens your love for yourself when you love other people. So before I wrap up, I came across some self-liberating rules that I wrote around 2-3 years ago when I started this self-love journey. And I just want to read some of them to you in the hopes that it's going to strengthen you. Okay. So here we go. I do not need everyone to approve of me. I cannot avoid being disliked. Not everyone will like me. So accept this forever. Not everyone is going to like you. Okay? To be successful, I don't have to do everything because I can't. It is okay for me to make mistakes. I'm human. I will never be perfect. My happiness is not dependent on anybody. People don't have to strive to make me happy. I can make me happy. I don't have to punish people for making me unhappy. Nobody is responsible for my happiness. I am. Things don't always have to work the way I want them to. Life happens. I feel more fulfilled when I pour into the lives of people. I am a contributor, not just a consumer. I want to leave something behind when I leave this world. I don't want to live for myself alone. I can control my emotions. I am not powerless about them. They are fleeting. I can't live my life depending on my emotions. Events in my past do not affect my behavior. I am responsible for my life and my behavior. My past doesn't dictate my future. I can't feel happy all the time. There are good days and there are bad days, and that is okay. That is life. I am responsible for my life. Nobody is coming to save me. Nobody owes me anything. Nobody's life revolves around me. The world does not revolve around me. I don't need anyone to do my every bidding. Nobody lives for my pleasure. I am a grown woman. Difficult times, I pray through it. I speak up. I give to the world. I am not a taker. I am a grown woman. I know what I want and I go for it. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this video useful and insightful. If you know anyone who needs to listen to today's episode, please do well to share this video with them. All right, and please let me know all your thoughts and all your comments. Just leave them in the comment section. I'll be reading. If you have any more tips, if you've struggled with loving yourself and you've learned a few lessons along the way, just share them in the comment section. We'll be more than happy to hear from you. All right, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe. We share wholesome content here that you will definitely find valuable. All right. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And I'll see you again in my next episode. Bye. It's here. It's disturbing me. Oh my goodness. Right. I'm not. Oh my God. Can't you just stay one place?